Welcome once again, everybody, to Blockbuster Mentality, the show where we dive deep into the world of cinema. I'm your host, Ben Secord. Today, Dave and I will wrap up our musical series as we dive into the 2016 instant classic La La Land, starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, directed by Damien Chazelle. The IMDb synopsis for the film reads, while navigating their careers in Los Angeles, a pianist and an actress fall in love while attempting to reconcile their aspirations for the future. Many of you know my thoughts on La La Land. Can't wait to hear Dave's. So sit back, relax, let's talk some movies.
Do you know that? That beautiful rendition comes from the Oscar-winning movie called City of Stars from the movie La La Land.
Very good.
This is another movie which main song won an Oscar going back to once. This is our third movie in a row of what we just called music movies, right?
Yeah, music movies, musicals.
And it's sort of like an episode arc, a 3-episode arc in this kind of film. We did Amadeus once and now La La Land. I know you love this film, and I know this one is near and dear to your heart. I saw this back in, when it came out, and I enjoyed it, but I wasn't there for the Oscar stuff, and I think that's really
okay.
You were a little bit heartbroken on that, aren't you?
Yeah, obviously Moonlight stole it from them in the Oscars, but it was a whole debacle. But anyways, this is a movie that's stuck with me right away. I fell in love with it first time I saw it. It's one of the few movies in the last few years that I gave a 10 out of 10 when I used to do that sort of rating.
Oh, wow.
So a little spoiler alert. But, maybe my thoughts have changed over the past few months after a few views. We don't know. I don't want to, give anything away. But yeah, I love this movie. I'm so glad it did get recognized for so many Oscars. No, it didn't win Best Picture, but it did win for Best Actress in Emma Stone. Ryan Gosling obviously was nominated, didn't win, but it won Best Directing. So well-deserved for Damien Chazelle.
Yeah, it also won Best Cinematography.
Yes, and oh my God, the look of this film.
Yeah. So actually, something I looked up when I was looking up what it won for Oscars, because I wasn't sure. I didn't know Damien Chazelle, who deserved all these Oscars were well deserved, right?
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Well, he's doing one called First Man with Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong. I didn't even know about this movie, and he's going to have the same. He's teaming up with the same cinematographer.
Oh,
so that's coming up
nice.
later. I think in maybe October or something like that this year. I'm really excited. I don't even know anything about it other than just who's directing it, who's shooting it, and Ryan Gosling is starring in it. And I love the subject, so I think I'm highly anticipated. This is probably my most anticipated movie of the year, I would say.
Yeah. It's in post-production right now. Yeah, called First Man. He was the youngest Oscar winner for Best Director at 32 years old. But yeah, I can't wait because he came out with Whiplash, which I love, with J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he wrote that, right?
Yeah, he wrote and directed Whiplash. Then he comes out with La La Land, and I loved even more. So yeah, anything this guy comes out with now, I'm going to be sold. Him, Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, for sure.
Are two of the hottest hitters right now. So
he also wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I took a steaming dump on.
Oh yeah, you did.
He didn't direct it, but he wrote it. I just didn't like that movie.
Interesting.
But that's fine. I mean, it's forgiven because we both love Whiplash. We both, we like all this movies. So we're really excited to see what's coming up next. He's just a really talented director, and Ryan Gosling, he's good. I like him. And Emma Stone, she can't talk right, but she puts on a really great performance. It certainly is a worthy winner for Best Actress.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the best I've ever seen her act. So yeah, it was totally well deserved. And Ryan Gosling, basically, I seek out any movie he's in lately. Yeah, I mean, obviously with Blade Runner 2049, he is my man crush.
Have you seen Drive?
Yes, I love Drive.
Drive is great.
Drive is so good. But yeah, he's been in a lot lately, and he always brings a solid performance, and he did not fall short here with La La Land either.
Yeah, I remember you were so moved by The Notebook that you became a Gosling fan. Actually, what do you think of that movie?
I've only seen it once a long time ago, so I haven't.
I actually think it's a really good movie.
Yeah,
it's like as good as it gets for a chick flick.
Okay, it's like as good as it gets, the movie.
No.
With Jack Nicholson and
not nearly as satisfying as those one-liners, but but for romantic, that sort of they're just total chick flicks, that kind of style. But it's good. It's a really great story, and I don't know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about Ryan Gosling at all.
Yeah, but first of all, Damien Chazelle did a phenomenal job with this. Just, but yeah, getting back to the cinematography, just the look of this movie is just every shot. There's something to see for me. That's something that totally stood out for me.
Is this movie bordering on fantasy?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said it before, but yeah, this is to me what a movie was always meant to be is, something that's, it's outside of reality, but you're still captivated. It's a spectacle, that's kind of how I have defined it. And that's what I love so much about it.
Yeah, I think that the idea that someone would be off-put and not be able to suspend their disbelief when, say, they're dancing, up into
How are they flying?
Yeah, I mean, so what, right?
Yeah,
this is
exactly,
fun. This is enjoyable. This is going above. I mean, a movie is supposed to take you above and beyond reality. So why not, introduce this effect and this sort of thing? And this movie deals a lot with, I will say it substitutes words for music or music for words, whatever.
Right.
Instead of them talking about what they feel, they just sort of do a song, and then you don't need that extra dialogue. So that's actually not something I really care for per se. I don't like song and dance numbers.
Right, yeah.
And there's a bit of that in the beginning, which I think actually hurts the film. But when it's just sort of them singing and playing and doing their thing, it is so good. You get everything you need from the story.
Right. And in the song and dance thing, like I said, I'm not into that either. Like, I'm not a big musical guy, but yeah, that song and dance thing, yeah, it's something to look at. It serves the story just as much as the actual, them just talking, the dialogue. I get sucked in just from those scenes too, the way they're talking and just talking about, things they're passionate about and things like that. So, I mean, that's where this movie has a great strength as well. It's not just the music. It is the story. It is the acting. It's the characters and, how they interact with each other. So.
They're very natural with one another.
Yeah, definitely.
These two have a nice chemistry.
Yeah, I think they have amazing chemistry, and that's why this movie is able to have the success it does and why it works so well for me too, is just the amazing chemistry these two have.
Emma Stone has this natural warmth about her, I guess I would say. She seems like a nice person. She seems like someone that you want to help,
right?
In a way, not that she's like a damsel or anything, but someone that would repay you with kindness. And I don't know, there's something there. At least it's coming through really strong in this film.
Yeah, I think natural is the best way to put it. Yeah, it's just something. Yeah, just something about her that
she's very likable.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she's acting. It's just she's just there. Not even delivering lines. Just she's there to talk, and they're just filming her.
Yeah, she's just sort of quirky and funny and sweet and nice and. Open to like a new experience or something. So that's really nice. And you get the Ryan Gosling character, Sebastian, who's a bit hardened. He's gone through some stuff. He's obviously a very talented musician, but he got sort of ripped off by somebody.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of, he starts out the film kind of bitter. He's kind of, he's cocky about things, and but when a different actor could have come off as he's not likable, but there's still just, he's got this way about him where it just like works. Like he makes like these subtle little jokes, and you get where he's coming from. And for me, anyways, I mean, it works for me.
Ryan Gosling kind of being a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
He's actually really good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you don't hate him for it.
No, not at all. You're actually like, you take his side.
Like another, because this is like right at the beginning of the film. So another actor, it could have been, could have threw off the whole movie because you're just like, I can't get over how this guy was at the beginning. And,
I can see that.
By the end, I still don't really like him, but not the case with Ryan Gosling. So.
I mentioned being a jerk. And we get J.K. Simmons in a mini Whiplash role here as like the club manager. I love J.K. Simmons. Can he just please be in every movie? Just be a jerk to somebody. He's amazing.
It's Christmas. I see the Christmas lights. Yeah. He's great in anything. Like this is just such a tiny part, yet he sells the scene.
Yeah. He takes over everything he's in. But.
Which is, I mean, it's kind of the first in our, we kind of follow a little outline, a pick six. We pick 6 favorite moments of the film and just kind of follow that in order, chronological order of the film. And that's kind of the beginning there. But first of all, the very first opening, that whole, sitting in LA traffic musical number, that didn't work for you?
It was just okay. It was too long. And I like it from a technical perspective. In other words, the choreography and getting, shutting down this overpass and getting everyone to just do, as a piece of film and as an execution, it was great.
Yeah.
But I was kind of bored out of my mind halfway through.
Yeah, I think because going back to it, like the more I watch it, the more I could just kind of just enjoy it because it's just part of the film because I like it. But yeah, when I first saw it, it even kind of was like, what's this movie going to be? Because I really am not not too blown away, but yeah, the technical aspect is what I really appreciate, even most, even going back to it, and just because obviously choreography, but even the choreography of the camera, like how the perfect timing that has to be, and it's all mostly one shot.
That must have been like the shot from hell to get that thing right.
I know.
mean, I could just imagine everyone just sweating in the blaring sun, trying to get everything coordinated. So yeah, from that perspective, it's good. But for me, as a guy who's comfortable on my couch, I just don't have that sort of. It doesn't mean much to me because I want to be entertained here. And actually, while we're on the sort of beginning and the things I don't like, is I'd say the first 20 minutes of this film I'm not crazy about, and you got that little song and dance thing going on with Emma Stone. Mia? What's her name? Mia and
Mia, yep.
And her roommates. They're sort of doing this dancing thing and their own routine. So they're.
Someone in the crowd.
Yes, someone in the crowd. This is getting a little bit much for me.
Yeah.
We're about 20 minutes in, and I'm not happy, per se. I'm like, okay, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's watchable.
But I'm like, all right, you got to do, is this kind of a movie where we're just, okay, so at that point, it's sort of like a classical musical.
Yeah.
It feels like.
It seemed like they kind of wanted to get that stuff out of the way. Like, hey, this is a musical. We're making a musical. And then they're like, okay, let's do the story now and get into that. That's kind of what it
is. That the best approach, though? We're just going to.
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's. But
I'm not trying to be super critical.
Yeah, I know.
Because
yeah.
From that after that sort of beginning weirdness passes, the film is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
And really, what we're waiting to do is just meet Sebastian.
Yeah, because it's Ryan Gosling. I mean, we're
obviously.
I guess
we're all waiting for.
You could describe those first 20 minutes as just forgettable, in the film. So I think that's the main thing for me. But I enjoy watching it. But that's just me. No,
that's fine. I'm just saying, just from as being critical, I would say that's really the only problem I have with this movie. I mean, I do like her going into the audition. She's got that audition. She's was practicing for it when she first runs into Ryan Gosling, and they flip each other off. That's how they first meet each other. She goes into the audition with coffee spilled all over her. She's kind of performing her heart out there. She's giving it her all, and she just gets rudely interrupted. And it's just like, you got to be kidding me. How brutal is that existence?
Oh my God.
Could you imagine being that person? I don't know what kind of.
I always, have dreamt like, I would love to be an actor, but like going through all that, no thank you.
You'd have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, you got to be
yourself.
You got to be a different kind of person to be able to do that all the time, and just I guess you probably just become numb to it, I'd say. But I think it just gives you a little glimpse at her life. It's not so shiny right now. She's going through some stuff. Same with Zeb. He's got past due bills all over his house. He's he's losing jobs at restaurants. But yeah, that kind of gets into our moment. He's playing at this restaurant. He's got a gig, and J.K. Simmons only wants him to play the Christmas music, and it's just this corny, just deck the halls. It's.
And he's so annoyed.
Yeah,
right? It's beyond boredom for him. It's like hatred.
It's so miserable.
Yeah,
because he's already talked about how he likes jazz to his sister, who was at his apartment, and he's like constantly like playing this one little piano. Do you call it a riff with piano?
Something like that.
Piano riff.
Close
like he
enough.
keeps playing the same little
phrase.
bit. Phrase over and over, maybe trying to like perfect it himself. He's big into that. But he's playing this Christmas music, and then he notices no one's listening, just like he told J.K. Simmons, like no one's even listening. So what does it matter? So he kind of turns Deck the Halls into his own little melody, slowly playing it, and then he keeps going, and it's just this passion you feel, from his actual playing. Like it's.
I don't know what that song is. It almost reminds me of that song from Casablanca that Sam plays on the piano. Dun dun dun. It's not quite the same, but it's almost the same feel.
Right.
It's like a familiar refrain. I know it's not the same song, but it reminds me of that.
Definitely.
There's like a sadness to it.
That's another thing with this movie. It pays homage to those old Hollywood movies. I mean, it even was sold as like what they call a love letter to Hollywood, a love letter to old Hollywood. And you definitely get that a lot in this film, especially when they're on the film set, walking through and seeing all the old timey, way they made films and stuff. But you do get a lot of that. But him just playing his heart out. It was just a great moment, on the piano there. It's such a good song. I think they call it Mia and Seb's theme on the soundtrack. So you keep hearing that dun 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 dun. Or now that's City of Stars. Yeah,
another,
but it's another one.
But so he's playing there, and she's coming in. She walks into this club because she was at a party and she parked in a towaway zone or something like that, right?
Yep.
So she's just kind of wandering the streets. You see the look on her face. She's like in heels and she like wants to die, right?
Yep.
She's just like, and then she hears this music and gets drawn in.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how they kind of got drawn into each other. Kind of like with Once, that's how they got connected was through music.
Yeah.
They're kind of getting connected through music or art.
Very similar. She really appreciates his playing, and I like too. There's little touches there where he starts playing, and then everything goes playing with the lighting. He gets a spotlight on him, and then he's in his own little world.
Right.
And he comes out of it, and then he gets fired by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I love though. Yeah, it's like they're in their own little world, because before that, when they were just showing her stuff, like while she's listening to the music, she's in her own little world because they darken everything around her except for her. She's got the spotlight. When he starts playing that, when they're on his, they do the same thing to him. They darken everything but him.
And both of them basically get stomped on in each of those times.
Yeah.
Like for her, you're as the audience, you're like enraptured with both of them. But the people that judge them are not.
Right.
And that's the world you're in. I mean, she's auditioning left and right, and people have no time for her for whatever reason.
Right.
She's one of, hundreds, and there's that one where she's wearing that white shirt, which she's just wearing the jacket. Probably, I wonder if that's partially why they just didn't. She was supposed to go in there with a button-down collared shirt, which we see a bunch of other redheads who are better looking than her in the same outfit, and that's kind of like the reality of.
Right.
It's just like, either one of us, we come across a guy who looks just like us, but is way better looking and smarter and funnier and everything else that we're not. And we're like, oh, wow, I just want to curl up into a ball and die.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm who I am.
Right.
I can't be her or him.
Yeah.
So I guess I suck.
Right. Yeah. Like, how you don't give up. So, I mean, you gotta hand it to them for just, keep going. Because I mean, this is their passion. This is their dream. Again, this is a movie about dreamers. So, which is great. It's about not giving up, and they have every reason to give up at this point. Yet they still they put their head down and power through, which is great. And he even said at the beginning, he's against the ropes, but I'm waiting for life to get tired. Because life keeps punching, life. I'm waiting for life to get tired, and I'm going to swing back.
Yeah, it's a classic rope-a-dope. He tells his sister. Yeah, I love that. He's like, I'm just waiting. It's going to get tired. I'm going to go back and knock it out.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Exactly. It's like Jake LaMotta. Just lets him hit him on the rope.
Yeah, actually, I have a thing about something about this movie reminded me of Raging Bull, and I don't want to forget it when we get to the end. So,
okay, Raging Bull. Okay, cool.
Because I have a new insight on Raging Bull that came to me. That applies to this movie.
Yeah, definitely bring that up again.
I will.
So yeah, that's a great moment. I love that moment. And then Mia sees him, and he just got fired. He walks by. She's like, I just wanted to say, and then he just walks right by her.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great. Like it's think
real.
Like, yeah. Yep. Exactly. Like,
he just got fired. He's like, I don't have time for this chick.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's not your typical love story where it's like a meet cute. Like, oh hey. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't play very well.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden his spirits are saved, and he has some epiphany or something like that. Great. He just like bowls through her.
Yeah, that's what I love. Like how we were talking about this movie's like a spectacle and a fantasy at the same time. It feels so real too. Like it's so realistic how things turn out, and obviously we'll get to the ending. It's not always happily ever after. So
no, that's a great call, because you have harsh reality going on throughout this film, but then you have real elements of fantasy, which are almost like, I think, what is being played in people's heads, or at least in emotionally.
Yeah.
When you're with a girl, when you first meet her, and whatever, you imagine yourself dancing in the sky with her.
Exactly.
You're not really, obviously, but that sort of represents your thoughts,
Yeah, and again, not the risk of sounding corny again. It's about that dreamer in you. The dreamer, is always going to have those feelings, and again, that's probably a good reason why those,
No, you're right to bring it up, because it's not corny, because the movie is telling you this throughout. I mean, right. this battle between your dreams and, as they say, as Sebastian says, growing up, dreams versus growing up, or
yeah.
It's really just another way of saying reality.
Right,
up,
exactly. Yeah, you change your dreams and then you grow up.
Yeah, because he's obviously a talented musician, but he can't find work. So what do you do?
Yeah, and it's just crazy, man. Yeah, because I mean, obviously these two have great talent. I mean, you even see that in her little audition, but it just so much just depends on the circumstances, and a lot of it is luck and randomness. You could just be in a casting room where the casting director's in such a bad mood and he just doesn't care. He's not even paying attention to really what's in front of him. His mind's elsewhere. Like, right. How much has that affected people where, and like that's their only shot. Like, this is their one shot. And the casting director just happened to have a bad day. Like,
right. Yeah. This is your role of a lifetime. Right. And, he's got the flu or something.
Right. Exactly. Whatever, yeah. So it's just
or his wife yelled at him before he got into the meeting.
Right.
He just doesn't care who you are. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like you're leaving so much to chance in this sort of thing. And it's a fine line, and it's a fine line between having nothing and having, millions of dollars potentially.
Right. Yeah.
It's just up to someone's random a coin flip.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it is talent, but a lot of it is also chance and luck, and just it's crazy. But yeah, then getting back to the movie. So yeah, then he walks right by her, and then it flashes to her on another audition. That's where I'm not tripping. You be tripping.
Yeah, you be tripping.
That was good stuff.
We need to get that. But that needs to be said in every movie.
Yeah, for sure.
You be tripping.
You be tripping. So yeah, she's at a pool party, which again, the cinematography, I like. I don't know. Do you call that sun flares? Like when you see flares of sun, like just like
J.J. Abrams was infamous for that in Star Trek.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, they were everywhere on the ship.
Yeah, that's there's an overuse. I like the natural. Like this is actually from the sun, but yeah, she sees none other than Ryan Gosling playing there.
He's playing in this terrible 80s band playing the guitar.
Yep, the guitar.
And they're in these he's in like a purple suit or something, and every guy is in their own obnoxiously colored suit. It's so funny.
It's just and
she's taunting him.
Yeah, and you can just tell how miserable he is, and how embarrassed he is to even be playing, and she requests a song, "Iran," just to mock him, and
he's just really he's has that look on his face.
Yeah. And they confront each other, and they're just kind of, she finds out she's an actress. And I like this one part when, they're about done with the conversation, and he says, "No, I guess I'll see you in the movies." Reminded me of our show. Remember we say that at the end of our show?
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. It's so funny too. We realize we learn another thing about him, or we get further evidence that this guy cannot handle having a boss.
Yeah.
In any capacity.
Right, yeah, because the one guy say, "Hey, we're going back on. Come on, let's go." He's like,
he doesn't tell me what to do.
He doesn't tell me. I let him tell me what to do. So yeah, he's definitely got an ego to him, and
this guy needs to blaze his own path.
Well, even John Legend says later that you're just you have all the talent in the world, but you're a pain in the ass. Like that's what you are. And he's like, yeah, I agree. So I mean, it's definitely. But yeah, this leads to basically they're on a walk after the party. He's walking her to her car, and they're still, they got this, I don't even know what to call it, but they're pretending they're not interested in each other. Like they're just kind of not making fun of each other, but teasing each other a little, but you know what I mean?
Just what banter. To call it?
Yeah, banter. But
he kind of saves her from this guy that was droning on about whatever concept of a script he had. Remember, he gets her keys.
Yep.
And then he's like, he's parked right by the valet stand, but he's like, my car's up here, and he gives an excuse to walk her.
Exactly.
And there's a little bit it's just tension, I think.
Yeah, tension. Yeah, I guess
there's clearly an attraction there, but neither one of them, they're both pretending to not like each other at all.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what this next song's about, is a waste of a lovely night. Like saying, "Oh, if I was only with someone else right now, you're not my type." That's what the song goes into. But the lyrics of the song or whatever. But it's just. This is where they get to. This is all one shot. Once you see them start walking up the hill, it's all one shot from there. Yeah, that's
right. Great call.
They start talking a little, but then they get, he starts singing, and then they, go up and you see this purple sky.
I think that's a green screen.
It's not. That is real because they had
no.
Yes, that is
Get
real.
Out of here.
Yes, that's why this is so amazing because
on a sunrise.
Yeah, they were only able to try it 2 or 3 times a night. I think it was a total of 8 takes.
Get out of here!
They ended up using the second take. because they could only shoot, within a 40-minute time frame where that sky was like that.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that's why this scene means even more to me, is just because
that's impressive.
how amazing it is. But,
but speaking of real, Ryan Gosling also plays piano and everything in this.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just point that out.
Which is awesome.
It's credit to him. That's good for
I think he knew a little piano before this, but I guess he learned even more how to master it for this movie. Which
it just makes it so much more authentic. So
no, definitely.
I cannot believe that was not in front of a green screen.
Yeah,
it honestly it really just looks like a green screen to me. It's too nice to be real.
Yeah, it's like
I almost thought that it was. Wow, I can't believe it. It's so perfect.
# no filter.
That's amazing.
But that's why. And then just this little musical number they do again.
And the dancing,
the technical, the dancing, and it's just the technical aspect of it, and just this is one of the best song and dance things I've seen on screen for me. I really enjoyed this. I was smiling ear to ear the whole time during this sequence.
I think I was too, and I can't say that it's not the best I've ever seen because I haven't seen many, and
that's true.
I especially avoid them. But to that credit for this movie is that I really enjoyed it, and I don't really expect to enjoy it or really want to. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And I think I heard a criticism of this isn't it's not as good as Singing in the Rain with Bing Crosby or something like that. Well, first of all, I haven't seen that. I've never seen Singing in the Rain.
I've not seen it.
I have no interest in Bing Crosby. This is not my thing, right? So whatever. So whether it's better or not, it's not a knock to me. All I know is what I'm seeing on screen right now is pretty freaking cool.
Right.
And yeah, I love it. I love just the little moves they do to each other. They're almost sort of like fighting with one another, but then they come together. I love it. I agree. This is a phenomenal scene, and the fact that was not a green screen, I'm still still processing.
Isn't that insane?
I agree.
At one point, they go to the edge of the cliff during the musical, and the camera goes out to the sky, and then they zoom back out.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, they're not really over that cliff.
Yeah,
that's not so blah blah blah. Wow.
I love when they're even going downhill a little, and they go back. Just the way the music is and the dancing, the choreography is just
it's
such
incredible.
A great scene. I could watch it over and over. This is just when I knew this movie was something special when I was in the theater watching it. I was just because before it to make me smile, and then me realize 5 minutes later that I am smiling. It's like, whoa, wow.
Yeah, actually, throughout this movie, I get goosebumps here and there and smiles and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a great call, Ben. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, it's a great set, great shot there. So yeah, I love that it's in one take, technical and just for the story. So yeah, then we get to they start to bond a little. They she tells him he doesn't like jazz, which he's like, whoa. Well,
that was that was nice too, because that's where they're walking through the sound stages.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then he gets passionate, like you always say. You want to see someone be passionate about something that they like, and he is passionate. I mean, you want to go listen to jazz with him, right? Or watch him play based on how much he loves it and how mad at her he is that she doesn't like it. You don't even know what you're not liking.
Yeah, he says
you're not even in a position to criticize because you're not educated.
Yeah, she says she doesn't like jazz, and he says, well, that's a blanket statement. He basically confronts her about it.
It's who the F are you to say you don't like jazz?
It's great. But yeah, the way he's just speaking passionately about it, especially when they get into the jazz club, he brings her this little hole in the wall jazz club, and the way he's talking about how jazz started in a flop house in New Orleans, and they were speaking 5 different languages. This was the only way they could speak to each other. And, he said how it's not relaxing and how much is at stake. And just the way he's talking about it just makes me want to, it makes me, be interested in jazz. Like she said, people are interested in what people are passionate about.
Yep. Yeah, because she's like, this is like elevator music. And then he takes her to a club and he's like, no, this is all improv and there's always something new. It's actually, it's an art form that cannot be contained.
Right, yeah.
Because it's always something that's just bubbling up over the surface.
Yeah, they're composing, they're rearranging, they're rewriting.
It's look at the sax player. He's taking over. And look at the trumpet player. Now he wants it back. It's wow, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I love at the end of that spiel, he's like, and it's very exciting. And it's just I feel excited for him. I think that's one of my favorite, acting scenes of him.
Oh, definitely.
Just talking so passionately about that, which is great. And then
when we get to the what I whistled earlier, which is the City of Stars, because we've been hearing little bits of this song, I think, right? And then
right after this whole jazz thing, like when he like drops her off, tells her he's going to take her to the movies or whatever, he sings a little bit of it. Walking on that boardwalk again with the purple sky.
Couple. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the couple. Yep.
That was funny because he's got the hat. And he's like, we danced with my woman for. It was pretty much all I could tell from that guy's face.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, what you doing? What you doing, boy? And then this is, we're gonna kind of skip through here because, this is after they go to the movies. They go, they're flying, as we already talked about. They're flying through the air, everything like that. I do love when they're at the movies and you see the love building between them. They're holding hands. They're about to kiss, and I love the look of how the film like burns away.
It just reminds me of like the first time I held hands with like my wife. Or
right?
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot help but put my mind there. And
right.
It's like really exciting and really crazy. And is this happening? I don't know. It's just like that electricity, and it comes through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, electricity. Good word. That's it. It's exactly how it feels,
because that's an amazing feeling when you're connecting with someone in the beginning. It's like it's indescribable. It's just incredible.
Yeah, that whole moment was just so relatable. Yeah, again, just them showing the hands like slowly doing it, like they're both like she kind of puts his hand
and then he looks and he moves.
Like it just felt so real. Yeah, like you said, you put yourself right back in that situation.
It's like a dance in its own way.
Right. They're forming a relationship. He's talking about opening a club. She's talking about doing her one woman play. They have that conversation about him calling it chicken on a stick. Her saying call it Sebs.
Yeah. She makes him. She draws it out and does a little note, a music note as an apostrophe.
Right.
And he's like, no, I'm going to call it chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick.
Because some famous jazz player, that his nickname was Chicken or something,
or they called him Bird because he liked chicken. I don't know, something like that.
It's like such a meta joke that no one, maybe 5 people on the planet would get it. He's like, no, we're gonna serve chicken and booze. He's like, forget the chicken. What are you gonna have? You're gonna be just making chicken? It's like, it makes no sense. It's so practical.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have chicken. He's like really insisting that they're gonna have like.
Yeah, and she's definitely she's trying to help like in a good way. And this is where you kind of see his stubbornness, his pain in the ass.
Yeah,
like,
it's just
John
funny.
Legend
It's not super serious, but
no, definitely
it's
not.
hilarious.
But,
exactly.
Just
the idea that someone would be that adamant.
Yeah,
it's not that. Not only do I need to have my club, but I need to serve chicken on a stick.
Right.
Like, how about we just get the club and then you play the music, and then we'll figure out like the details on that later.
Exactly. And then again, their relationship's forming. She goes with him to different jazz clubs and stuff, and they run into John Legend, who for some reason he doesn't like. I don't know why.
What do you mean? Sebastian doesn't like him?
Yeah.
Well, because I think he sees him as a sellout. And someone who's sort of succeeding on things that he thinks that he should be succeeding. Sort of thing. And I think that there's that sort of animosity between them, and John Legend knows that he sees him as that guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they have that conversation. Yeah, once Seb gets in there and they're playing along, he's playing on a keyboard, and then they bring in that digitized music during. God. It's just like
looks at like what the heck?
It's just like so not natural. It's just so just not. Yeah, it's not. It has no character. It's no, it's not natural. But
what did you think of John Legend?
I think he was decent.
I thought he was too. I thought he was just fine in this film.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even that song she goes to his concert and the song they play, like it's it's commercialized and everything like that,
yeah.
but it's catchy. But yeah, his actual acting was decent. Like,
yeah,
it was
I thought
solid.
so too.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of his outside of this, but I thought he was just fine in this film.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where so that's kind of what you're talking about with him being a sellout, because he says you're trying to be how are you going to be revolutionary when you're such a traditionalist?
It's actually not a bad argument.
Yeah,
you're if his point is essentially, if jazz is something that's always changing and always creating something new, which is exactly what Sebastian told Mia, well then, hey man, you can't be stuck playing something from the 1920s,
right?
And assuming that it has to stay static in that point, you have to adapt. You have to improvise. You have to, that's what jazz is. Jazz isn't just being stuck in one moment in time. That can't work.
It's not about being stuck on chicken and a stick.
Exactly.
I mean, that's really what it is, because ultimately he does call it Sebs.
Yeah.
In the end. But yeah, then we get to he decides to play for John Legend. Then we get to the second City of Stars rendition when they're both singing it together.
I
Get
goosebumps.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, you got that glowing green background behind him. He starts playing, he sings his little verse, and then she jumps in, and just the buildup of the song. It's just something special.
Yeah, and then there's that middle part of the song which we don't hear until this point, right?
Yeah,
there's that little. It's like sort of bouncy.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And then actually, just before we started, we noticed the colors, the green.
Right. Yeah,
she's wearing purple. And then she's also, then later, in the next scene, she's also wearing green. So she's sort of doing a green purple thing. Yeah, and that green, how much does that green remind you a little bit of Vertigo?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, I do think again they were calling back a lot of old Hollywood, and I think Vertigo, was a big
Vertigo was
influence.
That was red and green, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
A lot of red and green.
And
exactly.
This one is purple and green, and
right,
and also yellow. We get yellow.
Oh yeah, there'd be a lot of yellow, a lot of solid colors in this movie too, which is really good.
Well, I think the cover or the poster of this, she's wearing yellow, right?
Yep,
and
yellow.
It's yellow and purple.
Yep, exactly.
And you get the purple sky, obviously, again, which is natural, amazingly.
Yep, not a green screen. Yeah, I was watching something. It was like a director's roundtable from the Hollywood Reporter, and Damien Chazelle was on it. He said one of the first things he noticed when he moved to LA was just the sky, just how beautiful the sky was.
Yeah.
So I mean that had
it's
a
all
lot
that
to do
smog,
with it.
It adds to the color.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take smog for the beauty. Smog for beauty.
I would too.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sing this song for everybody, but yeah, this just song just makes you feel.
So you can sing, maybe.
Rat tat tat on my heart.
Yeah.
I just love the build up. It's just, and this is kind of their last moment of kind of happiness together. What are you laughing at?
The fact that you actually did say, I'm not going to sing, and then I shamed you into it.
Well, yeah, you're very influential. You were passionate about it, and people like what people are passionate about.
It should be.
But I like the build up, and I did notice again that this is kind of their last moment, really, of happiness together.
Yeah,
This is because this is when they show a montage of, her, being alone while he's on tour. They're kind of falling apart. They're getting their distance. He's doing what she thinks, he wants, or
because
what she wants.
He overhears her talking to her mom,
right?
And she's like, "Yeah, he's going to start a club." And he's like, "No, mom, he doesn't have a regular gig." Blah 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 blah. And she's like, "He's like, oh crap."
Yeah.
And so he goes and does what this is like. Again, this is that conflict between dreams and reality, or dreams and growing up. And for him, that means I got to get a regular gig. Which he does need. He just got fired.
Right.
He can't keep a job.
Yeah, that's true.
So he does kind of have to get his crap together.
And he realizes that. And this is kind of his argument, to what we're going to get to is, about growing up and, your dreams change and then you grow up, It's kind of his argument there. It's just, I gotta grow up. I gotta get my shit together and yeah.
Yeah, and she's kind of wanting to do that one woman show sort of thing, right?
Right, yeah.
She's putting that together.
That. Yep.
And he's got his own obligations now with this John Legend band, which means doing photo shoots.
Yeah.
And all this other stuff.
It's just stuff
he does not want to do.
Ugh.
He wants to be there for her, but he can't on that day where her performance is. He's got to go. He's like, he forgot that he's got to be at this place to do a photo shoot. He's wearing that white hat with the sunglasses, and the photographer makes him it's like
bite his lip.
The cheesiest look anyone could ever do, right?
But he's really essentially started this, and he's doing this all for her. He hates this. He doesn't want to do this, but he thinks this is what she wants. This is what she wanted for him. So he's doing it to make her happy, but he's compromising his happiness.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is a lot of what this movie, the ending and everything is all about. Is just where you draw the line. Are you going to be happy in your relationship but have resentment towards one of them is going to have resentment towards each other? We're going to get to that, but anyways,
it's tough because they're very talented people in this sort of life, which is in show business or whatever. And you can't predict when you're going to get a break.
Right.
And when you got that break, you're either going to take it or you're going to go back to the life you were before. There's no, it's one or the other here.
Right.
It's a fork in the road. And if you're going to go for it, then you're in, and then that changes everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And for him, he's on the road.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not working. It's because they end up back again together. He surprises her one night and he says I got to leave in the morning, but hey, I'm here.
He makes her dinner.
Yep.
By the way, he's pulling something out of the oven there at one point. It's like this mess. Do you know what that was?
No, I have no idea.
It was probably a giant failure.
Yeah.
But here they are arguing about these exact same points, which is, hey, he's basically saying, you told me to take this job,
right.
In essence. She's like, no, I didn't.
But I mean, one of the reasons, this is basically our number 4 in our pick 6 is this fight, this argument. It kind of Phantom Thread kind of reminded me of this when they're kind of on their little argument. Phantom Thread, remember that?
Yeah, very real and raw.
Yeah, very exactly. And it's just it sucks you in. This is part what I was talking about, how the story and the dialogue sucks you in just as much as the music. And it's a lot to do with this part because you get both points. Like he says, you said it yourself. No one wants to go to a club called Chicken on a Stick, and she says, so change the name.
It's not about the name.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, you're right. He's like, I'm doing this for you, or to be the man that I think you want me to be.
Yeah.
Which means I have to go do these things. And then she's like, no, I didn't really want. I don't know what. I don't know. I kind of side with him on this. Maybe he goes a little too far, but he's got to do something with his life, and he did, and she should be happy for him. She's like mad at him that he now she's like looking down on him that he sold out, and I think that's incredibly unfair.
Yeah, he's
she's like, I want you to be passionate. I want you to do be you,
right,
sort of thing, and it's just really not nice. I don't think.
Yeah, it's definitely not fair. I totally see where you're coming from there, but at the same time, it is about him giving up his dreams. Like she's trying to still encourage him in a way, to is this really what you want? Are you happy? And
he's making a living though.
Yeah, it's true. But he's
at
like,
least let the guy make his living, and then she's like mad at him that he didn't have the club instantly or something, or maybe or just that he's away. I don't know. It gets complicated.
I didn't see it as that. I do think I don't know. I can see both sides. Like, yeah, he's finally made something of himself, but she says, do you like the music you're playing? He's like,
well,
what does it matter? And she says, it matters if you're going to give up your dream, because he still had a chance to fulfill. He's
not giving
dream.
up. He's just got a regular gig. You got to give the guy some time to find his way. I think
it's true. But the way he was talking, I'm
sticking up for him.
Yeah, I know.
But, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, but the way he was talking is that this is it for the foreseeable future. Like they go on tour so they can record the record, and then they record so they can go on tour.
I guess. But is that the worst thing in the world if he just becomes a touring musician? Is that really so bad, or is she just?
It's not bad. This is, we're, two regular guys who are like, I'll take,
Well, but that was kind of his attitude, right? He's like,
but
guys in my position would kill to go play with a band like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you're touring with, let's just say you're a bass player and you get to tour with Luke Bryan. So what? You don't like country music? That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
You know what? And then your girlfriend's gonna say, "Well, I thought you had your slap bass technique, and you're gonna do your own." Like, well, I got to make a living here.
Right? Yeah. I know it's tough. Again, but ultimately he does. I think ultimately he understands her because he does end up living his, what his dream is.
In the end, I believe it's correct.
Yeah,
because you should follow your dream, and it does work. But I just that human interaction, it just frustrated me because I feel like he got out of that shell that he was in, and now that's like, you didn't like me then, and now you don't like me now. But
I think that says a lot about the writing of that scene and the performances, and just how it does suck you in, and how you felt frustrated because they were able to pull it off. They were able to pull off that realistic argument.
Definitely.
But yeah, that whole argument sucks you in, and then it got me and Dave arguing. Like, who does he think he is? Like, I don't want to live my dream. But
it's funny, I would have thought you would have taken the Gosling side, and
well, of course I'm going to go with him where I don't like the music he's playing, but I'm going to go with him. Are you kidding me? But anywho, so then we get to our number 5, which is, so they basically break up. That's basically what it is, but it's mainly because, like you said, they were at the photo shoot. He forgot all about it, but it was the first night of her play, her one-woman show. And
this is kind of rough.
Doesn't go. And then she's done with the play.
He wanted to be there, but
right? Yeah, exactly. But he has, he
had to be there for the
contractual obligations, which he should have checked his schedule a little better, I think.
But you get the feeling here, if he doesn't show up to that shoot, then that's kind of it with him.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yep. But obviously he was done anyways. That what happened 5 years later. But yeah, I mean it's heartbreaking that he had to do that. But yeah, she's done with the play, and there's like 8 people there.
It's just like her 3 roommates.
Yeah, I think you see his sister in there.
Yeah,
I noticed that this time you do see the casting director. She's is in the audition for
one of the other ones, and then he chases her down basically as she's on her way out, and she's like, no. Like, no.
Yeah, it's over.
This is done.
Because first of all, no one came to my show. I have no money to pay back the theater now.
She's like,
and second of all, you're the person I loved. You're the person who was supposed to be there for me. The one person I really, truly would want to be there, and you're not there.
She's basically emotionally spent, and wounded, and just crushed.
This was the last straw for her in their relationship, plus the last straw for her in
She's
her
like last
her
straw in Los Angeles,
right?
Last straw of everything. This whole last straw of this version of myself in this life that I've been in.
Right,
in. I am done. I am dead. I'm going home to Nevada.
Going home, and then she does, and then as Seb gets this call, it's a casting director. He kind of brushes it off at first. He realizes that it is a casting director, so he decides to drive all the way to Boulder City, and she's sitting in the kitchen in her parents' house, and I just love how you all of a sudden hear the horn. This is kind of their calling sign. Every time he would show up at her house, he would just honk the horn really loud.
So were you a horn guy, or were you a knock on the door guy?
I was knock on door guy.
So was I.
What am I going to do? Come on here, lady. Come on.
The horn is like kind of a...
Yeah.
That's like classic bad boy, I guess. Or something. Exactly. I mean, who does that?
Nobody. That's another fantasy part of the film. That's
I sure would like to be a horn guy.
I know. I wish I could be that guy.
Okay, well, there's my boyfriend. You never have to talk to anybody. They come in. That's the life right there. You just lay on the horn.
Exactly. So yeah, he shows up, tells her she's going to be there, and they have a little another good interaction between the both of us, and that's where she says, you said it yourself, you change your dreams and you grow up, and he's like, you're being a baby, you better start making some goddamn sense, which is great. But then she kind of spills her heart out to him. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm one of those people who is just a pipe dream. You change your dreams and you grow up. Maybe I'm one of those people, she says. And she doesn't want to do it anymore. And just like, she's given up his dream, just like it seemed like he was giving up his dream with, going on tour with the music. So they're kind of reversed roles here. He's like, what are you doing?
He's not going to let her give it up.
Yeah, he's not going to let her give it up. Exactly. So that kind of goes back to that argument, what you were saying. I think that's basically what she was saying to him in that argument at dinner.
Yeah, they're sort of fighting for one another, but I get the sense that she was... I don't know. He's there to like help her. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. But I agree. It's tough, right? Because every circumstance is different, and I can see that how they're pushing one another to fulfill their dreams, and that's really the best thing that they do for one another, right? They're so important to each other's lives, and they just get each other over that hump.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff. But yeah, then they do end up getting to that audition, and then this is our number 5, the audition. And I think the song is actually called Audition. Yeah, they basically tell her, we're writing the movie around the actress, and said, just tell us a story. It's going to be involved in Paris. It's going to be, the shoot is going to be in Paris. You're going to be in Paris basically for 6 months. And yeah, tell her a story. And she, goes into her story. It starts as her just talking, about her
right?
aunt. Yeah, she used to live in Paris, which is fitting for, the role. And then gets into the song about her aunt, jumps off a bridge and, in freezing water, and ultimately would do it again. But I'm talking about the lyrics again. But this song just, first of all, I love the chorus, the lyrics in the chorus, to the fools who dream, as crazy as they may seem. It's just, again, this is the dreamer part of the movie where it's just like, yeah, they may seem crazy, but they're doing something. This is the song for you dreamers. This is to you guys. And just, I don't know, I'm getting chills talking about it. I'm not doing it justice, but this song just gave me chills. Like, it's just her delivery of it is brilliant, and just I just love that she's just belting her heart out for this song.
No, yeah, I mean, this is like her moment,
right?
As like a person, this is her chance. This this is everything, has led her to this point, and she nails it.
Yeah,
it's so
just,
good.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I don't know. I got chills every time I watch this song, but for some reason, last night when I was watching this, my chill radar was just like I was just couldn't stop. Like I was just like,
yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah,
stuff.
I was almost in tears just how much how much it was affecting me. It's just something about it. Again, the delivery, the lyrics. It's just I don't know. It's just something really special. It's just one of my favorite moments in film.
It's really good stuff.
Yeah,
it's amazing acting. This probably cemented her win here.
Yeah. Absolutely. This scene alone, I think definitely won her that Oscar. Again,
a little unexpected too. I didn't know that this was coming, and it was really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love how it starts, just her talking, then everything goes black except for her.
Yeah, another lighting technique
in another one take. Even the camera even spins around her at one point, and I just love the emotion and just everything in her voice and everything like that.
It's an incredible scene, and like we said, it's also just an amazing setup to get to that point.
Right. Yeah.
So it all just flows. Well, it's nicely.
just and it's finally time for her to just let everything down and just give it her all.
Yeah.
This is
what do you got to lose here?
Yeah, exactly. Here's to the ones who dream. This is it. I'm a dreamer, so got to give it my all. I'd do it again if I had to.
Yeah, she nails this thing.
Yeah,
and she's not sure. They're later meeting on sort of like up on a cliff or something like that in a park or a walkway. And
that observatory. Again,
yeah. Okay.
Right?
Oh yeah, back on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they're just sort of like. This is where they're like, where do we go from here, right?
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're going to get this.
Yeah, you're going to get it.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
And it's going to be months, and it's going to be some time, and that's what you got to do. And I guess there's just sort of a sense from both of them that this is kind of it.
Yeah, because he even says when you get this, you got to give it everything. You got to get everything you got. It's your dream, And she says, well, what are you going to do? He says, I got to follow my own plan. I'm going to stay here, and he's got to do his thing. And
I guess as you were saying, she in her own way kind of got through to him,
right? Yeah,
in its own. But he also had to learn. I mean, going through the photo shoot,
right? Yeah,
all that stuff that he had to do. It's just not me.
Yeah, and what that cost him, really. I mean, it basically cost them, like it was the final straw in the relationship, and just how he almost destroyed her dream, because that was her just totally giving up at that point.
Yeah, he almost ruined it for both of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's just this is about him letting go. This is him being able to let her go, and just love that moment where he says, or she says, "I'll always love you."
Yeah,
he says, "I'm always going to love you too," and
you sense that this is goodbye.
Yeah, exactly, and I love their little. Their little banter they have. Look at not much of a view. It's the worst view I've ever seen. But it's obviously beautiful and
obviously,
cute little banter. But
great stuff.
Yeah, powerful. And this is coming off of that huge emotional performance of hers, and it's just a great way to wrap up them. But it's not over. Not
really by a long shot.
No. Yeah. So we go to 5 years later.
Well, but I mean, not by a long shot, not in terms of time, because the movie's not particularly long, which is nice.
Yeah,
but just true. In terms of their story. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I'll ask you, I guess this is basically I'd call it like the last 15 minutes / maybe 20 minutes, the end.
Yeah.
Because it's really all just one long piece, right?
Yeah.
Was this a controversial ending? Or was it a...
Yeah, I mean, not for... At the risk of sounding pretentious, not for film lovers.
Okay.
I think it's a film lovers, ending. It's it works. But yeah, I think for your casual viewer who's just going to see, I want to go see a romantic comedy, romantic thing. I think those kind of people did not like it.
Well, because that's what I got from my wife. She's sort of like, well, should we just get into this?
Yes, let's do it. Yeah,
because I think, we should just say these two characters don't end up together.
Yeah, it's great. Well, what's great about I saw this in the theater, and when it's 5 years later, she's now the actress who's getting coffee at the barista. How she was a barista.
She pulls up in her car.
Yeah, exactly.
And orders 2 iced coffees, and she's like showered on. She's the roles have been reversed.
But she comes home and she is obviously talking to a man and goes in for a kiss.
Got
and
a kid. Yeah.
It's not Ryan Gosling.
No.
And you should have seen the theater. There were so many women who gasped when they saw it wasn't
really?
Ryan Gosling. It was actually kind of comical just because everyone was like,
Oh, I didn't have that experience.
yeah,
That's
so,
interesting.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I kind of expected it just because it was like this kind of just how this movie is, seeming.
Yeah, so the wife wasn't happy on this because she's like, well, they keep running into each other. They're so obviously attracted to one another,
Right.
and then they just don't end up together. What the heck is this?
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't know. I think it's kind of a beautiful ending.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the reality of things.
Yeah,
you do fall apart with someone, and just you gotta let them do their thing, and you're gonna do your thing.
Here's my take on this. This is not your typical Hollywood ending, but I think it's actually the real Hollywood ending.
Yeah,
Which is to say that people that are in Hollywood, they get together and they break up. This
Right.
stuff's they happen. You go and do a movie for 3 months, and your husband is at home, and he goes and does another. He gets
Right.
on a TV show.
Yeah, look what-
or he goes on tour or something. That's actually real Hollywood.
yeah. I mean, there's so many examples of that. One thing I think of is Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. Like, it seemed like they were like the it couple almost.
Yeah,
It's just
really
like a
nice,
perfect
funny
couple, and just
people,
like
yeah.
he's
even
becoming
they
this-
can handle it.
Yeah, he's
keep it
becoming
together.
this huge star now. It's just I don't think their relationship can take that. And
Yeah,
it's
she
also,
was like famous before him, and now she's almost sort of a has-been. Well, she's
Right.
on that TV show, but
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah. Again, it's very real because yes, they sacrificed their relationship. They're living their dream now. Yeah, they're not together, but again, kind of with Once, the movie we did last week, they still were able to affect each other's lives in a positive way.
Yeah,
They'll
it's
always
very
have
similar to that,
connection.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
it's not something, it's not your happily ever after ending, but it's probably for the best ending because one of them wasn't going to live their dream if they stayed together. One of them fully wasn't going to live their dream if they stayed together. One of them was going to resent the other.
Neither one of them seemed to be resentful of the other at all.
Yeah, you mean at now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't
because
seem
they're
particularly
both.
hurt.
They shared almost like an appreciative nod at each other at the end, which I appreciate.
Yeah, they're not really. They're not harboring any kind of resentment. They're almost just at least happy for one another as much as they can be. And so yeah, she meets this guy, right? And then they go off on date night, and they're stuck in traffic. They're gonna go see some show or something like that, and then they're sort of like looking at the off ramp. It's like, just get off here and get something to eat. And they do, and they're walking, and they hear this amazing jazz music that they're both drawn to. And hey, it's Seb's.
Yep. And she is right away you
like,
see the
oh,
look on her
no.
face like, oh jeez.
Well, she sees the sign. That's just
Right,
the sign that she designed.
Yeah. And I love just they sit down and you could see her body language is just uncomfortable a little
She's so
because
tense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tense exactly. And then he gets on stage, he's all excited, oh, that's great. And then that's, he announces something about, whatever, and then when he sees her, his whole demeanor just changes. It's just like
It's crushed in a sense.
yeah, I'm like, oh man, but he turns that into music.
Yeah.
He's able to turn it around and just harness that and put it into his improvised jazz performance, which he talked about at the beginning. But I love that shift in him, when he actually notices her in the crowd.
And then we get this montage.
Yep.
Of sort of like what life could have been.
Yep.
And it's really fast and really rapid and really deep and really emotional. And for me, it's borderline. Actually, I will say it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
What you see on screen.
Yeah.
It is so intense.
It's just
it's almost like life flashing before your eyes.
right. Yeah.
Oh my God! You could just get them you get the music like da na 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 na, and they're like spinning, and I mean, go ahead. I mean,
No, I mean,
crazy.
so you take this as both of them imagining just what their life could have been,
Yeah,
right?
for
Okay,
sure,
yes,
yeah.
okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Definitely.
I interpreted it that the same way. Yeah, I mean, it's just both of them. Yeah, again, kind of romanticizing what they had, almost like everything was perfect, and if we would have just kissed at that first moment we met, instead of him just brushing by, what could have happened, things would have just ended perfectly. And that's just people kind of looking back at things like, oh, if I could have done something differently. Like, that's kind of us romanticizing the past, kind of how this movie, in a sense, the director and everything, is romanticizing old Hollywood, like as this great grandiose thing, when there was probably some muddled things here and there, which obviously I'm sure there's plenty of stories about. Look at Harvey Weinstein. But yeah, I mean, it's just great because it's none of this stuff would have happened. They wouldn't have been that happy.
No, but you get this like sadness and this longing for one another, and I especially get it in Emma Stone's face. Like, wow, this could have been my life, and it could have been you, and instead it's with him, and I'm still happy, but that powerful attraction.
Right.
Oh my God. I mean, I am like. They struck by this ending. It's so powerful.
Sacrificed their relationship, for their dreams, which makes sense, but they're still. Again, I love the end because they're still appreciative of each other.
Yeah, they're not bitter.
They're not bitter. Exactly.
But it is so strong.
Yeah, it even shows them maybe having a kid together and everything like that, and they end up basically being at that same jazz joint as her and her husband are at, but it's like things wouldn't have gone that way.
No, not exactly. That's just like it's in their head.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they're thinking. I think that's what sort of happens throughout the movie. Is that what they're imagining in their mind is sort of
because they're dreamers. They're always going to dream.
Yeah.
They're always going to think of these things. Things can be this way. Maybe we'll she. And I kind of feel sadder for him because she has someone and he's kind of off on his own. But I think he's always meant to be a loner. He's like, again, to go back to him being a pain in the ass. He's set on his ways. His jazz music. This is what he wants, and
that's sort of who he is.
Yeah.
So this reminded me.
Okay, I was going to ask
the Raging Bull. Yeah. So my new insight on Raging Bull, which was our first episode together, please check that one out. Is that I finally realized what my thoughts were at the end of that film. I think I'd mentioned it in the episode, and we probably talked about it since. I felt very confused. I had mixed emotions, and I think what I'm feeling in Raging Bull at the end is the same thoughts or same feelings I would have at a funeral. I think we witnessed the death of Jake LaMotta. In Raging Bull, and I think that's what we're seeing here at the end. And funny enough,
it's we're getting.
It's a guy at a club.
Yeah.
But I think it's sort of like this is the death in a sense of what they had.
Yeah.
And they're just sort of celebrating that bit of life that was their relationship.
Right. Yeah.
And then they look on it sort of fondly at the end, and it's done.
Yeah. Kind of like at a funeral. You're sad, that they're gone, but you still remember. What's who and what they were.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's great.
That in a great way.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that's good stuff because I mean that's what it is. That's the kind of the end of anything, any relationship or any,
Yeah, you deal with it, you acknowledge it, you honor it, and then you move on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the key there. I think they were able to kind of get their closure, here at this moment too, like especially that nod at the end. It's kind of just like. Thank you. The beginning they gave each other a nonverbal F you, and the end is a nonverbal thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so kind of poetic in that way, I might have to give credit to my wife for that. I believe she said that when we first saw this movie. But
that's a good call. Well, I want to give my wife credit too because as I was watching that montage, I was like. Thank God I have my wife.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I just wanted to reach out and grab her because it's like, oh my God, I couldn't even, I don't want to be anyone else. I want to just, I'm glad that I have someone and I have a life partner and she's with me and I don't have to deal with this kind of loss and mourning and that sort of moving on, which is really, really freaking tough.
It's true.
So I am really thankful for what I have in my life. And that made me feel that way.
Right. So, yeah. Good stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is an incredible movie. I mean, it's just it makes me feel so much, and just this movie means a lot to me. I mean, it's just I consider myself a dreamer. I do like to fantasize about things, about what they could be, what I can make of myself, and things like that. And I think a lot of us do, obviously,
of
but
course.
it just means a lot to me, and it's just one of those movies. I'm obviously doing a movie podcast, huge into movies, and I just love that it's a movie. It's an actual movie. It's not just.
It makes you feel all this
exactly.
stuff,
It's not all 100% reality.
No,
It's
of course not.
fantasy. It's
Yeah.
it's what I think movies were always meant to be, is to take you to this place that is so far from your own reality that
I could not agree more with
Yeah.
that assessment. I love the fantasy elements of this film.
Yeah.
And they capture what's really going on in your head, I think, in
Yeah.
a very accurate and beautiful way.
Okay. Very good stuff, man. I'm glad we finally did this movie, and yeah, it's just one of those movies. It's a once, you have to see it before you die movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with that.
Yep.
Now, do you have any questions on this movie? The only question I had was what he was cooking in the oven that burned.
Oh, yeah. Let's analyze that. All right. So, fire,
Yeah.
smoke. No, I have no idea what it was.
Do you have any other narrative questions or anything?
No.
I don't really have any. It seems pretty clear to me.
Yeah. I mean, this movie. Yeah. I mean, it's.
Do you? Would you like me to go ahead and give my rating?
Please do.
All right, I'm going to give this thing 4 stars. I would give it another half star or maybe even a 5th star. But not for the first 20, 25 minutes of this film, which I think really suffers.
Yeah.
After that, it is beautiful and phenomenal, and it gets better and
Right.
better and better up until the very last second of this movie. But the beginning is not all that great, but it's in totality is a phenomenal film. This is a worthy Best Picture winner in any year. 4 stars, and I'll say 3 buckets of popcorn.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm pretty. That's a fine rating. But for the second time in this show,
Oh no!
I am giving this film
no!
5 stars
Ay, ay, ay.
out of 5 and 5 buckets of popcorn.
Oh, you son of a gun!
I remember I gave this to Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
that episode, and you said, "What other movie is there?" I said, "There's other movies that are like this."
I was
and
so mad at you for that rating in Empire.
Here's another one. Here is another one.
So this is a perfect movie.
This is a perfect movie.
Wow.
This is probably in my top 10 of all
So
time.
you loved the highway dancing and the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it more and more the more I see this movie. It's just, yeah.
That's great. I love
I'm
that you love it so much.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
it's just one of those movies that hits me, and just those first 20 minutes just are just part of the experience for me now. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't fault it in any way.
I cannot disagree with any of it. It's a beautiful movie. It's a fantastic movie. I was in tears at the end of this film.
Yeah,
it's
it's powerful.
extremely moving.
Yeah,
Very good stuff.
It gives me chills. Any movie that makes me feel that way, it's just it did its job, and yeah, it's good stuff, man.
I'm so glad to do this film.
Me too, man. All right, folks. Well, thank you for going on this dream tour with us. In this music tour. These last 3 films have been a lot of music means a lot to me and Dave.
Yeah,
and,
this wraps up our music movie arc.
Music movie arc.
We'll get to some eventually,
Yeah,
I think, but we
exactly.
we've kind of run through.
Yeah, it's not the last, but
No.
next week got a fun one, or another deep one. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest
Yeah,
will
we're
be
back
next week.
to classic movie analysis here.
And YouTube, if we're in the same outfit, hey, guess what? We're recording this the same day. So, but hey, they're a week apart.
There's no hiding it.
All right, where can people find you on Twitter, Dave?
At Dave_Quist.
They can find me at BCcord. They can find the shows at BlockbusterCast. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on iTunes, give us reviews, please.
Love it.
And start conversations with us on Twitter, on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We love talking to you guys about movies.
Absolutely.
So continue the conversation. All right, folks. Dave, got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, folks, for Davo, I'm Ben Secord. And as always, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. We'll catch you guys
We will catch you guys at the movies, like Ben said. Yeah,
like Ryan Gosling.
it's all about Ryan Gosling for this guy.